recording.
Yeah.
So, well, good evening, I should say, Chiara.
Good evening too.
Thank you for taking the time to meet with us and have a quick discussion about your film Simple Women, which is playing today as part of our fall preview section at Le Film de Cana Bucharest. First of all, congratulations on the film. It premiered last year at the Toronto International Film Festival.
Yes, it is.
And it has a very beautiful connection to Romania. And but before I will get to that, I would like to first ask you, and I know, of course, this question is almost routinely and by default asked. What came first for you? Was it Elina Lowenson, or was it Hal Hartley, or what really made you turn this story into your feature debut film?
I think that many things happen when you do a first movie. There is not just one reason. There are many reasons that add together give you the reason to do the movie. I met Elena and I would like to work with her. It was my first desire, at least. But I didn't know in which type of movie. And I asked her just to speak me about her own life. That was the starting point. And as not a fan, but I knew her as an actress, but I didn't really know her life. And she started to tell me her own story. And I was a place as an audience, a very interesting place, because I start to, I use my own imagination to project some things on her own life. So I had a place. And starting from that, I decided to use myself in a way, because I would like to speak about her as a myth, because she has been a myth for a generation, but I need someone else. And in a way, the idea to speak about a director doing her own first movie, it was something that was interesting for me because it was my first movie. But I can say that Federica, it's me, but in a way, part of me isn't Federica. And at this starting point, I decided to speak about what happened between an idol and her own fan that build this idol in a way, and after has to kill this idol and probably try to affirm himself after having killed her own idol. That was the story. But inside I put many things too. It's what happened with the first movie, but with any movies at least, I think. But if I had to speak about that, I should say that, yeah.
And one thing that you did put into the film is the relationship to Romania. And first of all, I would like to just thank you on behalf of all Elina Lowenson fans out there that you made a film about Elina Lowenson, who is, like you said, she's this cult figure for a lot of cinephiles. But very few people know that she is, I mean, those who know of Elina Lowenson know that she is Romanian.
Yeah. But you know, the funny story was that people thought, I think, it was a fiction, even the fact that she was Romanian, because in the film of Al Hartley, Hartley said that she was Romanian, but it's part of her character. So probably people think that Al Hartley invented that. It was so funny because the boundaries between reality and fiction, even in this case, are completely mixed up. So when she told me that she was Romanian for real, in my case, not in the case of Federica that discovered in a way, it was so funny that I thought that I should really use that. And about this idea of Romanian, for me, Romania was a fantasy because I've never been to Romania before. And even the Romanian producer told me that it was even better to do not scouting before writing, because this Romanian is a sort of creation, as the idol of Federica in a way. Everything is a creation. It's it's a burst of her own mind, and she has to confront herself with the reality. So Romania is part of the myth in a way. What she saw when she was young, for example, at television.
I was gonna say, I mean, a lot of people's relationship to Romania is the media imaginary that they saw firsthand from the revolution, with which opened the film.
Yeah, for me it was a myth itself, because in a way I think that the question of idol, it's not only cinematographically, but it's about politics in a way, because idol is not only cinema idols, we have political idols too. So and when we saw that scene at television, really we thought that it was a fiction, because a person die on television, but we saw movies at television and people die. So which is the difference? At the point, there is some connection, I think.
There's a lot to be said about the revolution, its construction, its mediatization. There's actually a whole lot to talk about that. But I want to go back to Romania as this kind of imaginary place. A very basic question: what was it like to actually come to Romania and start filming? And what was it like for you to actually build the film and construct the film around these locations? And also, if you can tell us about Elina's experience.
Yeah, it was a very emotional moment, because Elina went back to Romania for other movies, but the fact that I was telling her own story, and in a way, you know, when we remember something, it's a sort of fiction, because it's not exhaustive. We just selected things and we don't really know what we project and what we really remember. So the fact that I'm doing a movie about her own life and she has memory so far in the past, it was very strong moment for her, I think, because she met for real, but at the same time she has to play her own character. And about the fact of shooting in Romanian, at the very first moment, I had to shoot in historical period. And so I thought it will be very expensive, because I have to construct to have the reality as it was in Hades, for example. And it was a great surprise, because, for example, many location was really exactly what I saw, not in television, but in my imagination. It's just like frozen time, as the time passed, as in Rome in a way, because, you know, in Rome you can see there is layers and layers, but you can see passing time in the same moment. And in Romania it was almost the same. It's two Latin countries, they have the same attitude to keep memories. So I didn't have to construct a lot. It was really what I imagined. I had it. And it was beautiful for that, because there is a memory are kept in a way in the location, places, and in the city itself. Yeah.
So would you say, just to kind of still stay on this idea, would you say that the film gave something to Elina that she didn't have before in terms of her relationship with the country and with her past?
I don't know. I think you should ask to Elina Lovenson in a way. We just do a movie. It's a little thing. But I know that she was an important moment for her, because it's her own story. And it's written now somewhere, probably. Yeah.
And just to kind of close it off here, but I want to ask also, what did the film mean for you? Because as much as you said it is a construction of an imaginary, almost like a proxy, like an imaginary character who is you but is not you, who is making her first film. You are making her first film. you do share the same admiration for Elina Lowenson, for Hal Hartley, for her quintessential image of Hal Hartley's kind of muse. How cathartic and how did it feel for you to kind of make this film? And like, yeah, what did it mean for you to actually make the film?
I think that it was my own way. It was question of storytelling, and I think that before telling, I had some question on storytelling, just to put things right before starting in a way. So in the movies, I ask some question to storytelling itself, and even to reality, because in a movie we recreate reality, so it's imagination in any case, and even in a way our own life, who I am, for example, or who you are. And there's big question in our life, and in a way I start laughing on that, put some questions that are very important before starting the path, to entering. It was something like that, I think, like that premise, something different, but I needed a premise. In a way, I can say that now. Yeah.
Well, I have to say you did a very playful and very personal, but also very playful kind of journey. So this imaginary forest to take. Before we end it off, I would just like to remind the viewers who are watching this that you get to choose your favorite film from our selection, and it will get the award will get support for distribution later on when cinemas will eventually open up again. Yeah,
we hope. We hope.
I am a very cynical optimist, so I think they will.
Me too.
But Chiara Malta, thank you very much for taking
Thank you too.
the time to be with us. And I would just leave it up to you to say any closing words to your audience.
I hope they can watch this movie laughing about very heavy thinking, very complicated things of our life, but going up lighter, how do you say, more light, not heavy, but with some smile, but thinking smiling. It's my best wish for this movie. Yeah.
So remember that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Bye.